everyone, welcome to another assembly. I hope you had a fantastic half term. I'm going to share a book with you today called The Koala Who Could, and it's all about thinking about things that might be a little bit scary and a bit worrying, but once you have a go it's not as bad as you think it might be. In a wonderful place at the breaking of dawn, where the breezes were soft and the sunshine was warm, a place where the creatures ran wild and played free, a koala called Kevin clung to a tree. A nicer grey fellow you never would meet, as soft as a soft thing, from ear tufts to feet. His favourite way to relax in the sun was to cling and to nap and to munch a leaf bun. He was terribly good at all these three things. Yes, Kevin was king of the staying still kings. You see, up high was safe since he liked a slow pace, while the ground down below seemed a frightening place. Too fast and too loud, and too big and too strange. No, Kevin preferred not to move or to change. So he clung to his tree as he knew how to do, and he was never too keen to try anything new. So when Wombat stopped by and shouted one day, "Hey Kevin, why don't you come down here and play?" I think," he replied, "I should stay on my plant. I'm busy right now. No, I'm sorry, I can't." "Why not?" cried the Roos, who liked the idea. "Yes, why?" called the Dingoes. "You've nothing to fear." But Kevin, who wasn't the do things quick sort, said, "I've clinging to do, but thanks for the thought." As Kevin sat watching them chatter and share, a part of him wished he could join in down there. But he knew he'd miss home, and in the dark and the late, the whole thing was risky, adventure could wait. Whatever the invite, he always said no. Oh dear, it seemed Kevin just couldn't let go. So his life was the same no matter the day. The weeks came and went and the months rolled away. And Kevin stayed still while the world moved around, until he awoke to a worrying sound. Tap, tap, the sound went. Well, this was a blow. Tap, tappity, tap, tap, tap. Oh no. "Uncling," called the crowd who had gathered below. "Leap and we'll catch you, just let yourself go." But Kevin was scared. "Let go? No, I shan't." "I won't," clung on Kevin. "Oh dear, I just can't." Whoomph! Down came the tree with a crackling pinging, crash and a wallop with Kevin still clinging. Kevin, he carefully opened one eye and looked up at the love staring down from the sky. Then one claw by one claw, he slowly unclung. He felt springy and light and happy and young. The worst he could think of had now come to pass, and he was just fine. Why, he felt quite first class. So when Wombat held out a most welcoming paw, Kevin, he didn't hold back anymore. When Dingo asked, "Now will you come out to play?" the crowd all joined in with, "What do you say?" And even though this wasn't a part of his plan, Kevin replied, "Yeah, I think that I can." And Kevin from then on was always can do, because life can be great when you try something new. So that was a scary time for Kevin the koala, because something that he wasn't quite sure of was happening. But when it did happen, it was all good, and it wasn't as bad as he thought it was going to be. So I'm going to hand over now to Mr. Morris, who's going to talk to you a little bit more about that. Have a good week.
Hello everybody, welcome to your Wellbeing Assembly for the week. I know Miss Florence has already read you a book which speaks about worry and things not always being as bad as they first think. So, what is worry? So, worrying is feeling anxious or troubled about an actual or potential problem. So that means it's a problem which is happening now, or it's a problem which may happen in the future. Overthinking problems can cause your body to react in a variety of ways. So sometimes if I worry, I might get a weird feeling in my stomach, or I might not be able to sleep, my appetite might go, and this will be different for everybody. So you've got a little picture and it says worrying won't stop the bad stuff from happening, it just stops you from enjoying the good. So when you're worrying about something that might happen, you're taking away everything that's happening right now in the present. And if you're having a good time, but you're too busy worrying about what might happen, then that takes away from that good time. And the key word there is might. It might not ever happen. Doubt. So doubt links into worrying. So self-doubt is the lack of confidence in your own ability to do something. Self-doubt can be caused by comparing yourself to others, worrying about something that could or has already happened, or the fear of failing. You have to try and let go of your self-doubt, as it can hold you back and it can prevent you from getting where you want to get to. So there's a picture here, and it's a little man there, and he's got self-doubt. He's carrying a lot of self-doubt. He wants to get up here, and he says here, would it be easier if we put this down? So he's saying, if I let go of this self-doubt, will it be easier to reach my goal? And of course it would be, because when you doubt yourself, you're not 100% confident in what you're doing. I could doubt myself sometimes, and it can be stuff from little stuff. It can be driving to a new place, and you might have driven there a couple of times, and you think you know the way, but you might think, I'm not actually sure. It might be a question. I see it in class all the time. I know you know the question, but you won't put your hand up, and that's because you've got that little bit of doubt in you. You don't want to put your hand up in case you're wrong. But it's really important that you don't doubt yourself too much, and you kind of give yourself that confidence. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong. It really doesn't. The big what if. So, do you think what if is a positive way of thinking? So, I do this quite bad. This is something that I struggle with quite a lot, and I try to work on. So I always think what if. So what if I'd done this, what would have happened? What if I'd done this, where would I be now? And it's kind of a big way to think, but really it doesn't really get you anywhere. So you can always think about what if, but you can't change what's already happened. So it's really important to stay present, which we've spoken about a lot during mindfulness. Like I said, you can't go back and change what has happened, but you can change what happens going forward. So I'd much rather, and it's a much healthier way to think, how can I change going forward? What can I do to impact my future, instead of trying to change my past? Because you can't, it's impossible. You can deal with your past and kind of regret some stuff that's happened, but it is almost wasted energy thinking, what if I'd done this, what if I'd done that? Is it that bad? So I know Miss Florence spoke a little bit about this during the book, and sometimes it's really easy to think it's a lot worse than it actually is. So especially in the moment when something happens there and then, you can be very impulsive and you almost think the world's going to end. But really, when you take some time to reflect, it actually wasn't that bad. So that could be an argument with a friend there and then. In that moment, you're quite angry, you're upset. When you come away from it, you're almost thinking it wasn't even worth arguing about. So it's really important to take that time to reflect and just think actually about the situation. All this time worrying about something that may never happen. So again, spend all this time worrying about something that might happen in the future. If it never happens, you've spent all that time being worried, feeling anxious, feeling scared, and if it never happens, all that negative emotion was for nothing. So it's got here, a superhero, using my powers of pure concentrated panic and anxiety, I can prevent bad things from happening. Or so I tell myself. So you can use all your energy to try and stop bad things happening, but then bad things may never happen. It's much more important and much more beneficial if you're in there in the moment. If they happen there, then that's when you can kind of work on a solution. How can we deal with worry and anxiety as well? So we've got exercise daily, maintain a positive attitude, get enough sleep, learn what triggers anxiety, eat well, practice relaxation techniques, stay in the moment, and don't suppress worry. Try to understand it. So there's lots of different stuff here. Some of them we've gone through before. It's important to learn what triggers your anxiety, because that is a way you can kind of try and avoid, the triggers that actually get you worried or make you anxious. You can work your way around them. We've got your relaxation techniques, staying in the moment we've discussed, and don't suppress worry. Try to understand what actually you're worried about. Worry doesn't always have to be negative. So remember, everybody has emotions. Everybody will worry about something. Sometimes worry means you care. So for me, I will worry before a test because I want to do well in that test. If I didn't care about what happened in the test, I wouldn't feel worried, I wouldn't feel nervous, I wouldn't have them anxious feelings. With a problem, try and find a solution. So there's a saying, there's no problems, there's only solutions. So instead of always focusing on the problem, try and think forward and see if you can find a solution to that problem. And turn a what if into how can I. So instead of saying, what if this happened, I can change it into how can I stop that happening again. So you're almost going from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. And here we are again at our 7-day challenge. So we've got create a worry diary. So that links into something I spoke about earlier, where you can write down the times you feel worried, and then you can write down kind of the situation you are in. So there you can make links, and you can identify to see if there is any links which kind of does spike your worry or anxiety. Create your own fitness circuit, so a little bit of fun. See if you can do that with at least 3 fitness stations and get your family involved. If you want a bit more of a challenge, you can try and come up with your own dance routine. Remember, you can send all that to us on Seesaw. Go for a mindfulness walk. So hopefully the weather stays like it is today, nice and sunny. And go for a walk with your family and take in what's around you. So again, using your senses, what can you smell, what can you see, and what can you hear? And it's amazing what you actually notice when you actually take in what's around you. Chase a dream. So think of something you want to achieve and plan how you will make it come true. So that can be through a drawing or a writing. Actually plan how you can get to where you want to get to. Read a new book. So a bit of a challenge one here. Try and read a new book which you haven't read before, and something that you wouldn't usually read. So if you always read, I don't know, for example, if you always read football books, try and read a book which is of a different genre. Your time. So set a time in your day where you can switch off. And this is almost like a bit of relaxing time. So this can be for anybody. Just set yourself aside 20 minutes, and you might just want to sit in a dark room and just collect your thoughts, reflect on the week. Or you might want to practice your breathing techniques, which we've gone through on previous assemblies. Or listen to some relaxing music and just kind of take that time to chill out and look after yourself. And then the last one is goal setting. So can you take the time and set up your goals for the upcoming week? Okay, remember, make them achievable, but challenging. You want to be motivated to do them. All right, so I hope everyone's well, and I will look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.